you very much for the update. NBC5 investigates tonight what could be the beginning of the end for Chicago's deadliest drug cartel. For decades, the brutal Sinaloa cartel and its former kingpin, El Chapo, has held a tight grip, just about 80% of the street drug trafficking here in Chicago. But now there are some serious questions about whether that grip is slipping. Investigative reporter Chuck Goudie joining us here to break it all down. Chuck?
Stefan, 4 El Chapo sons were put in charge of the Sinaloa cartel when their dad went to prison for life at the Supermax. This foursome, known as the Chapitos, instantly became America's most wanted. Their captures would be considered a grand slam for law enforcement. 2 were captured in recent years and have plea deals with federal prosecutors in Chicago. 2 others still in Mexico with targets on them. But tonight, law enforcement sources say they may be prepping to join their brothers in Chicago. The Sinaloa state has been a target of Mexican and American law enforcement for more than 50 years, since Joaquin El Chapo Guzman moved up through cartel ranks and eventually established the Sinaloa cartel. 10 years ago, when this firefight brought an end to Chapo's reign, the cartel started to unravel. His offspring, Los Chapitos, took over. Sons of Video and Joaquin both arrested in 2024 and brought to Chicago, where the family is under indictment after cornering the drug market here. Since then, the 2 remaining El Chapo sons, Ivan and Jesus, have become top DEA targets, each with capture bounties of $10 million. Now, with the screws tightening on corrupt public officials, law enforcement sources say the remaining 2 Chapitos are in secret negotiations on a possible plea deal and surrender in Chicago.
But I think there could be a couple of things going on. First and foremost, their 2 brothers are incarcerated and are cooperating at some level. So that may hasten their exit from Mexico. And at the same time, we've got to be careful here, Chuck, because this is the greatest cartel show on earth.
Retired Chicago Drug Enforcement Administration official Jack Riley is guarded until the last 2 sons are in custody. But Riley says there is motivation for a deal.
We've got to stop their political arm because that's kept them safe for 30, 40 years. And I think that's what they're after. And that's something clearly these 2 knuckleheads could give us.
Could you really imagine a time when we'd be talking about El Chapo locked up for life and potentially all of his sons who have been running the cartel in his wake also being in U.S. custody?
I can tell you when I started chasing him 20 years ago, I never thought we'd get him in custody. I really believed that he would be killed. We've been at this long enough now in terms of Sinaloa and Chapo and his offsprings that we really could see the final chapter of this come to a close.
Riley and other drug investigators tonight say they know there are other cartels in Mexico ready to fill the void left by a Sinaloa Grand Slam. But as Chapo's dynasty is dialed down, U.S. justice officials are penetrating Mexican politics to make it harder on the next regime, arresting 10 current or former government and law enforcement officials on drug and corruption charges. They are now in custody in New York, including the former head of public safety in Sinaloa. He's accused of taking $100,000 from the cartel each month.
Oof. Wow. Okay. But a real possibility that we may be seeing the end of this cartel.
It sure seems that way at this point.
Wow. Thanks,
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it.
Coming up